Welcome back, everyone. Happy New Year. By the time this video comes out, it should be either end of this day or tomorrow, and today is December 31st. So today, I'm going to do something different. Obviously, I already have this here. It's a panel for the panel project I've already done the background for, but I thought I'd do something else today. I will show you all the paintings I've already done for the panel project and a collection of paintings I've had hanging up around my house for the last few months. Alright, so what we're going to do next. Alright, here we are. Here are all the panels so far for the panel project. Obviously, that one there, I already started playing around with. There was extra paint, so I wasn't going to waste it. I threw it on there. It's a total of 12, and then there's this ugly looking thing. This is the one that basically this one replaced, so I have to replace this one again with that panel. So what I'm going to do is, well, let me show you it first. See how messed up that is? It just doesn't look right. I was trying to do something like a I don't know, like changing seasons sort of thing, but it's probably better to just do like half and half, but I'm not going to do that here. I'm just going to get rid of this one. Well, they get like repainted over. Even though I already varnished it, so that might not work. And if my voice is a little messed up, I apologize. I'm probably coming down with something. But yeah, as you can see, the sizing of this thing is actually going to be quite big. I'm not exactly sure what that is, but it's 20 by something. Yeah, when they're all done, it'll be hanging up on the wall like that. The wife keeps asking me, why do you keep doing it? I'm like, because you asked me to. Excuse me. So this is the first one I actually did. It's not even canvas. It's just I glued a bunch of sorry about that, note cards together, but it turned out pretty well. This one has metallic gold on there. It's the very first one I did. I think this is the second one. It's got like pearlescent or like pearl color for the snow and everything. Then I think I went to like this one. This is just a big old cherry blossom tree. And yeah, I followed, I think, here, then that one, then this one and this one in the last two videos. So yeah, I have those 4 to do, plus the one that's sitting over there on the desk, and replace this one. And here we are with all the other paintings I've been doing lately. These two are just abstract stuff. They use extra paint. No, I don't. This. It's in my laundry room. That one is like an autumn piece. The wife keeps complaining, saying it's not done. Well, it is, but because I actually based this one off of a photo, and this is basically how it looked. It's just branches and a bunch of fallen leaves down here. Actually, I think I really like that one. Now this one I just did because I wanted to do something that looked. I think this one, yeah, this was actually the one that inspired the panel project, because it looks all ethereal and weird. You know, like everything has a shadow except this guy, so maybe he's not really there, or it's a dream thing. I don't know. It was just something cool I wanted to do. Now that one was just because we were out during the Geminid meteor shower, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to paint this. I don't think I have any meteors falling in it, but that's something I want to do. Like, everyone can go see this somewhere in the world, you know. And every time my kids see this, they think it's from The Lion King, but it's not. I mean, it's just a sunset or sunrise piece. I think it's more of a sunset piece, but this is actually really easy to do. Just put like some sort of tape here, preferably like masking tape, and just paint. I think this is the first one I used palette knife for, with all these, the reds and orange and yellows back here, and the rest of it was just really simple. And now the next one, this one was actually a fun little challenge to do. It's not hard to make the moon look like that. It wasn't hard doing the silhouette thing, but believe it or not, this actually glows in the dark. That's a type of paint I used. But I think this one may have helped inspire the panel project as well, because you get shadow over here. You get the starscape in the background and the different contrasting colors. You know, it's black foreground, it fades to blue, and it fades like a grayish green. Yeah, that was one of my favorites. I think in the future I'm probably going to do similar paintings like this, you know, just because they're kind of fun to do. I have enough canvases. Now this one, this is the one I'm still working on. It originally had just blue water, and I realized that the sun needed to have reflection, and then I faded it out, but over here, unfortunately, it's all purple, so I have to fix that. So as you can see, I don't just do little mini panels and or abstract paintings. No, I try to do something a little bit bigger and more complicated. Now, I am missing a couple of my paintings, so I'm not sure where they went, but I'll have to find those later. Here's so far the collection I have right now, at least here. All right, so here we go. Beginning this painting. Yeah, like I said before, I already did the blue, black, and white kind of dark, spacey background. The next thing I was going to do is do the stars. Now, at this point, I used I'm not sure what happened there, but I used way too much. Like, that was a little epicenter right there, and that's going to come in later, and it kind of becomes a problem. But yeah, using a heat gun to dry it off. Makes it a little bit faster, so I can actually, make this video not last like 40 minutes. But it's already at like 23, but that's because I sped everything up. But here I go, about to start painting in the actual floating soil like the other ones. And I'm using a new brush, or my new flat brushes. And here we go again, painting in the soil. It's going to be all strung together with like, roots. Now I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, this is going to be for an aspen tree. I believe aspen trees, the ones with the white bark, it's not just like one singular tree. I think it's just one giant living organism. I'm not sure on that. So if somebody wants to clarify that for me, I'd appreciate it. And pretty much in here I've been doing all the little vines hanging down. Because of the way the soil was painted, I need to make sure it actually kind of like fills up a lot of that empty space to make it look like there's something actually holding on to the soil or ground. Alright, so here I'm getting ready to actually paint the tree itself. Now, I've never painted an aspen tree before, so it's going to be interesting seeing if I can actually pull it off with black and then you layer like white on top of it. A little bit of trivia for aspen trees. I believe they're the ones that you can use, like you use their bark and you boil it and you make penicillin. I believe that's the one it is. But yeah, never done this before, or never painted aspen tree, so we shall see how it turns out. A little other bit of trivia. I believe if you look at like a photo of it, like the trunks are really long and thin and tall, and then you just have a bunch of branches and leaves up at the top. That's what I was trying to do here. So just how I usually do it, and branches are kind of coming out a little bit low. This, I believe, is probably the tallest tree I've painted in all of the panel project. And here I am trying to like briefly put in some like suggestions of plants or grass growing on these, because I realized most of them don't have that. I put in like rocks and some of the other ones, and some of them have like plants growing up, but I wanted to make sure it was a little bit different than the others. Just give some more variety, And right about here, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. So I'm going to start putting the white on the actual tree and just see how it turns out and how it looks. because when you actually look at like an aspen tree, it's not all white. Obviously, it's got like black knots everywhere, and like the bark's flaking off. But I'm just trying to make it look right in here. So what I'm basically doing is I'm not trying to completely paint over all the black. I'm just trying to put white on top of the black, leaving like maybe the bottom edges of the branches black, and little spots here and there left uncovered with the white. Kind of give it that proper look. Obviously, for a painting so small, it's kind of hard to get any more details in there, but it's more like a suggestion of what it is anyway. Like, I mean, that's pretty much what all of these things are. I mean, that's what painting is. You're splotching color on a canvas and it ends up looking like something. So it was here I realized that there's way too many stars right there next to the tree on the left bottom side. So I was going to try to paint over those and make it look a little bit better. It kind of mess up a little bit here and there. A little too much light blue, too much white, and then finally kind of blend in with the black, and it kind of works. But you'll see later when I kind of put the stars back in, it kind of doesn't really do anything this whole point here, but it is what it is. But you can still tell what it is in the end, so that's what matters. Yeah, so here I'm just adding the colors, or starting to. Yeah. Should have been more careful with the splattering of white, but in the end, it kind of turns out. I mean, it still ends up having too many like stars there, but yeah. You judge for yourself. And here I just kind of put too much paint on it again, and it kind of doesn't really fix the original problem, but I guess the little stars are slightly smaller, so it kind of blends better. And right about here, obviously I'm going to use that particular brush again. It's the only brush I use for doing like leaves. I'm starting off to do the actual leaves themselves with a very dark green. Well, it's not very dark, but it's labeled as dark green. So again, I'm doing the dabbing method where you just kind of, well, do that, what you can see on screen. Just dab it on there and then slowly get lighter with brighter colors. For this, I'm kind of aiming for a little bit more yellow because it's an aspen tree. And of all the photos I've seen of it, they're either in the fall or like a lighter green than most other trees. Maybe that's just how I'm looking at it, but that's what I see. So. Yeah, it's been a busy year, I'd say. Yeah. Got the wife and kids here. We're about to move, so I'm not going to show you the rest of the house because it's packed up and a bit of a mess. But I got time to do this, like in the morning. My brother-in-law just found out he has a YouTube. He does a bunch of workout stuff, and he wants to do a couple videos with me because I do the same thing, but not on YouTube. I just do paint. Yeah, a little bit more about me and the family life. Now, I will say at this point, I started to just kind of like shape out the leaves. I didn't have to put in extra branches later because of the way I painted it. You can see all the white branches are still sticking out. Most of those stay right where they are during the course of the painting. That actually made it a little bit faster and a little bit easier. Here goes the normal green color that I usually use, and a little bit of yellow. Try to give it that more lighter lit up look. Now, this painting is different from the others because you actually get to see the trunk for the first time. The rest of them are all black. But because it's an aspen, you got to make some differences. Otherwise, it just looks like a generic tree, which I could just do that. A generic green leafed tree that just is there because none of the other ones have. Well, I haven't done one of those yet, so I'll probably do something like it. Yeah, continuing with the dab method, but with lighter colors. Fleshes out the actual leaves a little bit more. And here we are trying to get a little bit more yellow. I don't need that much yellow for this, so I'm just trying to get slightly more highlight on there. So I didn't use hardly any yellow for this. But I think the effect worked. You tell me. Right about here, I'm going to start putting in the paint for the highlights on the floating soil ground pieces. So that brown bottle, for some reason, always fights me. No matter, every time I'm recording, the paint just won't come out. And I use way too much here, but it's okay. This is pretty cheap paint. I just get it from the big box store with a W. Like I said in all my other videos, or the other two, nothing I use is expensive except for maybe the canvases and the paintbrushes. Everything else you can either get at like a dollar store or like one of the big box stores. Like literally everything for this. Like the canvas here and all the other canvases came from a dollar store. The paintbrushes I believe came from either Michael's or Walmart. Oh, I just dropped a name. I'm not advertised by them or sponsored by anybody. Just disclaimer. But yeah, nothing I use is expensive, and yet I can do this. It's not the best in the world, obviously, because I'm an amateur, but it works. And here I believe I added too much of this darker browns and a little bit of the lighter brown. So I'm gonna go back through later and you'll see that, and I'll add some more black to kind of put the contrasting shadows back in. But it doesn't look too bad how it is. Like especially on that, well, you can see really on that left-hand side right there, the kind of like downward swoop. Yeah, that's not good. I have to fix that later. And here I go, adding a little bit more black. There was off screen, there was a little bit of black paint I had there, and that's what I was using. And like usual, I need to add more white to the bottom. I'm not really sure why I don't fix this during the actual background painting, which I'll need to probably start doing in the future. But yeah, just adding a little bit of watered down white and then smearing it with my finger so it doesn't like be too much. Yeah, I think the effect works pretty well. I think I put too much, a little bit here and there, but in the end, you know, just work on it and it turns out, it blends pretty well. And I finally found my marker pen. Well, it's actually my wife's. I stole it from her, but don't tell her that. Just, you know, writing in my signature, and my last name of the year. And that's pretty much it. After that, this painting's pretty much done other than the varnish, which I'll have to eventually show you all later. But I appreciate y'all watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment. If you have any comments to actually give, any advice, answers to the questions I asked earlier. Yeah. Thank you for for just being here, and have a happy new year. My resolution is, well, I'm gonna start doing more paintings and trying to figure out how to get a better setup right here. I'm still waiting for some gear to come in that I need to fix it up. But again, from my family to yours, happy new year. Thank you. See you in the next video.